Kingdom Hearts is a franchise filled with many mysteries, along with a rich and deep story. This story and this world has kept millions of fans engaged throughout each iteration of Kingdom Hearts, and Kingdom Hearts 4 is no exception. In fact, one of the biggest mysteries in Kingdom Hearts and more recent ones has perhaps added itself another layer in Kingdom Hearts 4's trailer. This girl, right here. Some of you may not know her, and new Kingdom Hearts fans may not know much about why she's important. Unlike the last video, it may be a little tricky to follow along without being caught up in Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, though maybe this theory can convince you it's worth catching up. But just as a brief reminder, spoiler alert, she's dead, or should be. Within about 20 minutes or so of Strelitzia being introduced to the universe of Kingdom Hearts, she died, killed by darkness, and her death single-handedly would spark one of the biggest mysteries Kingdom Hearts has ever seen, about who murdered her. But that's not the mystery we're discussing today. Strelitzia is important because she was meant to be one of the Union leaders in Kingdom Hearts Union Cross. The Union leaders being Keyblade wielders picked by the Master of Masters and Foreteller Ava to keep the light alive leading into the future. But Strelitzia's plans as a Union leader were cut short by a much bigger plot started by the darkness. And I don't just mean the Heartless or the random dark beings we see throughout the Kingdom Hearts series, well, I mean kind of, but I mean literal darkness, like a character who is the most powerful of all the darknesses and is the source of all darkness in the Kingdom Hearts universe. And this plot would directly lead into the Lost Masters arc we are beginning now with Kingdom Hearts 4. Which, speaking of, because Strelitzia is dead, it actually makes sense that she would appear in Quadratum. Sora is kinda dead, Strelitzia is super dead, and Quadratum is a sort of afterlife as far as we know. So her being there, as far as that logic goes, makes sense, right? Well, it wouldn't be Kingdom Hearts if that was all. There's actually a possibility Strelitzia is alive, meaning she possibly shouldn't be in Quadratum. And using this word a third time, because of Union Cross's finale, there is possibly two Strelitzias. Just bear with me as I prepare to explain some pretty wacky concepts. But that's the fun of Kingdom Hearts. This whole series can be just as wacky as it can be serious. And if you love Kingdom Hearts and theories, make sure to subscribe to the channel. During the finale of Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, concepts are speculated about how data from characters who lived in Daybreak Town before the war may still exist, and this could include Strelitzia. Because data of these characters still exist, it is possible to port that data into a vessel and possibly bring these characters back. It was learned from Elrena's Chirithy that a man in a black coat was seen walking about Daybreak Town with a person in a white coat who seems to be Strelitzia. It's worth noting that Marluxia also had a vision of Strelitzia in cutscenes before in a white coat after a fight with Maleficent, very similar to that of a haunting spirit. The two Strelitzias for this theory is the Strelitzia in Quadratum and the Strelitzia in the white coat who is assumingly with the Master of Masters. Which one is the real Strelitzia though? I think this is going to be the mystery in future games. If I'm betting, I'd say this Strelitzia in Quadratum is the real Strelitzia, since she by all accounts should be dead. It makes sense for her to be spending time in this world if that were the case. However, since the Master knows about this world as well, maybe this is where the Strelitzia in the white coat ends up, and she's purposely here to mess with Sora in some way. I think two Strelitzias is also a possibility because I have a core belief that Lauriam will play a big role in the next saga. Since Strelitzia is a sister, I think having the Strelitzia in the white coat built off of her data from Daybreak Town being a sort of antagonist for the characters in the Realm of Light, and to mess with Lauriam and Marluxia a bit, I think would make for an extremely interesting plot point. Playing a game of which is the real Strelitzia as Sora navigates his way through this new realm. When Marluxia's somebody returns as Lauriam, maybe with his memories intact and with the Keyblade, I think it makes sense for him to join the Guardians of Light. Or perhaps him and Elrena will go on their own adventure trying to find Strelitzia, where maybe they continue following loose ends they potentially found before joining the organizations like theorized in the last video, or then they encounter this Strelitzia who is evil, a data recreation by the Master, but it's not really Strelitzia. Yet this is Lauriam's first time seeing his sister in years, forever. And then there's so many layers you could peel back with a story like this. Ventus would have to directly confront his trauma and guilt, largely because of his involvement in Strelitzia's death. This could also lead to the return of the Darknesses, which, even though the Lost Masters are going to be the antagonists for right now, I theorize the Darknesses are going to eventually become the true villains of this saga. And the Master's connection with them is a little unknown still, so whether he's a part of that or against that is yet to be seen. Similar to Union Cross, Strelitzia might be the character that really drives this plot forward. Even though she was only around for maybe 20 minutes, I'm assuming we're going to see a lot more than 20 minutes of her in Kingdom Hearts 4. I'm assuming she's going to be a big character in Quadratum, and probably a character Sora ends up interacting with a lot as the mysteries unfold. Even in those few moments we got of her before her demise, we saw a character with so much personality, and I would love to see that expanded upon as Sora interacts with her, as many other characters interact with her, whether it be in Quadratum, or whether it's interacting with this other version of the character. It's a little unknown how long exactly she's been there, or if time even works in that way. Maybe time has no real value in that world. Yet the Master does seem to be in Kingdom Hearts 4's trailer, even though Nomura doesn't want to confirm it. But assuming that is, or believing that that is, the last time we saw the Master was with the Strelitzia in the white coat. But if that is the case, then that would mean Sora is in a lot more of a dangerous position. Even more dangerous than already being in this afterworld. This person showing him the ropes and pretending to be his friend could actually not be. I think either way, we get some really interesting stories out of this. And kind of rambling a bit and talking about how Nomura mentioned that other characters aren't really going to take as big of a role in Kingdom Hearts 4, mostly referencing to characters in the Birth by Sleep or Days trio. I've always talked about that and said how I find that a little weird or hard to believe in some instances, because even though Kingdom Hearts 4 is seen as this sort of reset for the Kingdom Hearts franchise, or sort of as this new arc, this new era for Kingdom Hearts, it can very much so be that, but we are definitely continuing a story that we've had previously, at least to a degree. Strelitzia being there directly implies that. Strelitzia having connections to characters like Lauriam, characters like Ventus, characters like Elrina, basically any Union Cross character that still exists. You have the Subject X plot line. There's a lot in the setup for Kingdom Hearts 4 that directly implies that we're going to be getting a lot of continuations from stories previous, from theories previous. So it would be kind of weird if they missed out on these potential stories, these potential interactions, potential plot points, and just kind of threw them all away just so they could focus more on Sora and Riku, which is going to happen anyways. Essentially, my line of thought is that for Kingdom Hearts 4, we're going to have basically most of the game being about Sora attempting to get out of Quadratum, and simultaneously there's going to be a plot building up in the realm of Light side, where they're dealing with the return of the Foretellers, they're dealing with Luciu, they're dealing with this other Strelitzia, Lauriam comes back, Ventus's memories awaken, and I think a lot of the lore that we've come to know and love about Kingdom Hearts are going to be continued on that side of the fence. While Quadratum, Sora, Strelitzia here might be where we get introduced to a lot of new elements of Kingdom Hearts. But I want to know, what are your thoughts about these two theories? If you haven't watched part 1 to this, where I talk about Lauriam's motivation to find his sister and where he ends up in the Kingdom Hearts timeline after the destination cutscene, go ahead and check it out right here. And remember to be nice, be safe, and take care, everyone.